I'm Sandy. I am a retired expat who happens to be a digital nomad who is traveling the world slowly. In this video, I'm going to share with you how I and thousands of others expats and digital nomads find accommodations for an average of $650 a month overlooking the sea in warm climate countries. Stay with me, I'll show you the inside tips. So let's get to it. When searching on Airbnb or other platforms, even booking.com, you want to learn how to use filters. Filters will narrow down your search and is the most important element to you finding what you are looking for, where you're looking for, at the price you want. Enter your budget. Choose entire place if you want privacy. If you want a less expensive stay, you can always go with private room for a cheaper stay. I so far do not use private rooms. I always opt for the entire place. Now, the amenities filter is very important. You want to put if you're looking for oceanfront, beachfront, or waterfront where available, or use the keyword search bar and type in sea view or oceanfront. Now, the reason why this is important is because, for instance, I am in Peru now, overlooking the Pacific Ocean. My first stay was right on the oceanfront property. And then I moved back about 3 to 4 blocks, and what I have is a view from my balcony of the sea. But the view from the balcony where the rent is cheaper is less than $500 a month. But the apartment is more than adequate. It's clean, it's modern, and it has stores around it, restaurants, and it's only a 3 or 4 block because I like to sit and do my work on the computer and look out at the ocean, the waves. And here in Peru, there is a lot of surfing going on. People are coming here from all over the world to surf. The host not only has an apartment building down the street from the ocean front, she also has a lovely complex right on. You will meet people like this as you travel. And a lot of these women are savvy. They're very, very intelligent. And they understood long time ago that getting the right property and putting it on Airbnb could change their life. And I am now renting from such a woman. She was born in Russia, and she left Russia with a PhD, no doubt, an equivalent of a PhD in education. And she came to this little town in Peru, and she is just killing it when it comes to investments. Now let's talk about finding the best prices. There's a trick that digital nomads and expats who travel the world use. We look for properties that are 10 to 15 minute walk outside of the main tourist hub. If you do this, you will always find more affordable properties. You can ask the host before you book the property if there is public transportation, and they will tell you what public transportation is available and how much it costs. Usually it's so cheap, it's unbelievable. You can go all the way across town for less than 50 cents in many cases. Now the other thing is, and I don't know how these digital nomads that do Airbnb for 2 weeks or a week or 20 days or 15 days, they spend so very much more money than the rest of us who stay for 28, 29, 30 days or a month. We get anywhere from 10% to 40% off of the price when we book for a month. So in my book, I explain how you always want to stay somewhere for 30 days or close to 30 days, 2 months, 3 months, or however long your US or Canadian passport allows you to stay. There is so much information that I have learned in the last 12 years of my travels. I could not afford to stay in the San Francisco Bay Area. I was born in Berkeley, California, but I could not afford to stay there in retirement. I could afford to live in poverty, but I didn't want to live in poverty if I could just go across the border. I left and I went to Puerto Vallarta first. My rent was like $400 a month. And as you can see from the image on your screen, the view was magnificent. And I did that for like 3 years before the rent started going up and up and up and up and up. So that meant I started going further down south and south and south and south to find the quality of life and the views that I could afford. Now, there are two things that I do each month to pull all of this together and make it happen. The first thing is I work online. Yes, I am retired. However, I'm still registered with the Department of Treasury as a tax professional. I create courses on Udemy, and I also work here on YouTube, and I do a number of other things to supplement my income. And what I did is I created a course and put it on Udemy so people can learn how I and thousands of other expats and digital nomads earn income each month. Now, I didn't talk about the sky. I only talked about in the course what I do and how I do it to supplement my income. I'm a solo traveler, and sometimes it gets a little frightening when you're all by yourself traveling the world. So I always want to have an extra cash flow pocket to make sure that I'm going to be okay. Now, the second thing I do, well, really there's three things. The second thing I do is I prepare my own meals. If I want to eat at a fancy restaurant, I'll go do that. But that's not going to happen every night, for me at least. That happens maybe once a week or every other week. I prepare my own meals. I shop where the locals shop. My grocery bill is unbelievably low. Now, the third thing that I do is I pay for my travel medical insurance by my trips. In other words, and there's a link in the description to this service, I buy insurance for the segment of the trip that I'm going to take. Like, for instance, I'm in Peru for 3 months. I buy the insurance, the travel medical insurance, for 3 months. And then if I'm going to be in the Dominican Republic for 3 months, I buy the travel medical insurance for the 3 months. Now, in most cases, for little things, you can afford to pay out of your pocket to see the doctor. Most countries, you can see a qualified physician for under $50, and your medication, if you need that, is way cheaper than in the US and in most developed countries. The other thing is the travel medical insurance is basically for something that is serious. something that where I may need to fly back to the U.S., to my homeland. If you have to fly a medical emergency, that could destroy your finances. That's why you always need the travel medical evac insurance. And that's what I get when I travel throughout the world. Anyway, I'm not trying to sell insurance. What I'm doing is sharing with you how I bring all this together. I work online. I prepare my own meals. I travel to spots that are not, that don't cost $1,000 for the airfare. I travel to somewhere that's close to the destination where I am. So I keep my airfare low, and I use travel medical insurance. The link is in the description. My book explains every detail.